coming up on 30 seconds until airtime. Mark, 30 seconds until airtime. Once again, stations, if you encounter technical issues during the broadcast, please call the Oregon Studio Hotline at 336-831-0864. Stations, your final time cue will be with 15 seconds until airtime. Mark, 15 seconds until airtime.
Oregon is going to the Final Four.
The following is a Learfield presentation of the Oregon Sports Network.
And Oregon is going to play in the national championship game.
Welcome to Duck Insider.
Man, it feels great to be a Duck. Give it to me, baby. My house. I'm taking it there.
Third competitors, they'll want to put the O on.
Three, got it!
We're going to compete to a standard every day.
The Oregon standard.
Rebound, tap it in! 1 point more to go!
The opportunity to play, put Oregon on your chest, should mean a great deal to you.
Unloads on one into left field, back toward the wall. Gone!
This program is staged to compete and to win championships.
Oregon wins!
This is Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Better banking, local solutions. Live from the Country Financial Studio, let's talk Oregon athletics.
A lot to cover today. Melyssa Lombardi, Oregon softball head coach, will be with us in just a little while. I'm happy to report that Alex Stimpson and his whiteboard hand are in studio today. This is also because Alex is coming off the bench tomorrow. Alex is hosting Duck Insider Wednesday and Thursday while I travel with the Oregon baseball team to Utah. And we've decided that Alex's official title, which we will discuss tomorrow, is OSN Emeritus. As a former broadcaster for Oregon baseball, now other things within the athletic department. He'll give you a full breakdown tomorrow. OSN Emeritus, Alex Stimpson is here.
Feels great, Joey. Thank you. There's a lot of people I want to thank. I don't think we have quite enough time, but thank you. Back to you, Joey.
Oh, thank you, Alex. A correspondent with the whiteboard hand. Alex Stimpson. All right, Melyssa Lombardi, the Ducks are traveling this afternoon to Arkansas. We sat down with her earlier this morning. Full breakdown of the Fayetteville Regional coming up. Also, Oregon baseball, some updates heading into the weekend, injury-wise on the pitching staff. I know everybody wants to know. We'll update on that. Men's golf with some updates today. Also, from their regionals, and then I should say some great news for Oregon women's basketball. It continues with Grace Van Sluten. We'll talk about that coming up. Now, it's the second to last time that the athletic director is with us today. Rob Mullens, Oregon athletic director, with us in the Country Financial Studio. Hi, Rob.
Hi, how's it going?
Great. Did I cover anything or did I need to cover anything else? What did I miss?
No, I didn't realize this was the next to last.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's right. Yeah, you're on the second to last scheduled Duck Insider of the athletic season.
Oh, wow.
The last one will be Jerry Allen just doing full football play-by-play and getting us excited for the fall.
There we go.
Yeah. So, yeah, second to last. So that means we have a few things to cover, but also a lot of things to get to in the next few weeks, which, I was thinking about this, Rob, that on May 14th, just the way that the schedules have fallen and with Oregon softball traveling, at least for this round of postseason, and with Hayward Field not hosting a lot of events moving forward, like May 14th may have been the last home event of the season. It felt so weird to realize that.
Yeah, I hadn't given that any thought. So, yeah, that would be. Hopefully we catch some breaks and a little bit of postseason in softball and baseball and have an opportunity to play at the Jane or at PK one more time.
That's the plan moving forward. Now, Rob, I got to tell you, I have said that I will die on this hill, that Hayward Field should be the permanent host of the NCAA Track and Field Championships. I don't know exactly what it takes to make that happen, but I just feel like now is a good time to remind people of my feelings.
Well, and obviously we share that sentiment. We have been, banging that drum for, probably a decade now. And we'll continue to bang it. This year it's in Austin, Texas, which was a makeup for COVID. Mm-hmm. The year that the NCAA Track Championships were canceled due to COVID, it was intended to be in Austin. So I think this has given that back. And we have it for the next 4 years after this. So, we'll be back in that mix. But we will still lobby and push to be the permanent host. And I think the majority of the sport agrees with that. not 100%,
Right.
but probably a big majority.
Yeah. It's the greatest theater of track and field. Why wouldn't you want that on display?
Well, yeah, obviously the greatest theater. This community knows how to host those events better than probably anybody in the world, if we're being honest. And then, the incredible fan support. When we made this pitch and make this pitch to the NCAA, we compare it obviously to Oklahoma City, to Omaha for baseball. But also, it's kind of like a Wimbledon-type setting. It has a unique fan base, the best venue in the world. So, it belongs here.
Gosh, what a great comparison, Wimbledon. I hadn't thought of that before, but that just makes so much sense with, like, the unique history of the fan base.
Yeah, and it becomes kind of an appointment, right? The track fans in this country, come to Eugene, Oregon for that, whatever it is, second weekend in June for the NCAA championships, because that is a great NCAA championship. Future Olympians, current Olympians competing. And so, we're excited to have it back in 24. I think it's 24 through 27 that we have it. So, get ready.
Well, it took me all of 3 minutes to already go off on a tangent with Rob, so forgive me. Now, the spring game. We haven't yet had you on the show since the spring game. Always a great celebration of Oregon athletics.
Great celebration, obviously, thanks to all the fans. It was almost like a festival atmosphere this year. We had, Graham and the soccer team were out there before the spring football game. So lots of food carts, just incredible energy in the lots, great turnout for women's soccer. And then, what did we have, 45, 46,000, whatever it was in Autzen. Great energy on a perfect day. And then, that spilled over into the DJ in the courtyard, as well as filling up PK Park for baseball. So, that's what you want that day to be, right? An opportunity to gather and with all of our fans. And then Food for Lane County got enough food to serve 40,000 meals from that event. So what a great cause. So celebration of the military and all that they do. So it was a wonderful day.
I think when athletic events become community events, that's when you've really got the magic, I feel like. And that's what this always is. And you mentioned Food for Lane County. 40,000 meals is a lot for this community.
No, it is a lot. I don't know what it turned out this year, but, in the past, the Oregon football spring game had been one of, if not the largest, one-day event for Food for Lane County. So great partners. Appreciate everybody that showed up and brought the canned goods. And again, just a great day of celebration that started, 9 or 10 in the morning. Again, the food trucks and just the scene, if you moved around, was pretty cool. Yeah.
So we've decided, by we, I mean me, we've decided that next year I want to do an undercover tailgate segment. Because the spring game was so, just the environment was so awesome. I don't know if you remember this, but the first interview that I ever did with you, I asked you if you've ever done Undercover Boss. So here's my live pitch to you.
Okay, here we go.
I think you and I go incognito. We could strap GoPros somewhere to us.
Let's do it.
Because I know your football game day is filled up.
It is, but I get out there a bit, so I have a little inside knowledge on a few stops.
See?
I am going to Judge Hogan's tailgate.
That's right. Yeah,
every time. I mean, the pull behind it, the thing is amazing. Yeah. So I'm up for it.
So what if you were the host though? Like that. Here's my pitch. What if it's the athletic director's tailgate? What's in the athletic director's tailgate?
Oh, that's a good question. On a typical Saturday, you got to have a little bit of everything. I'm all about the game day fare, so I'm not going high cuisine.
Yeah,
I'm keeping it very simple on the grill, full coolers, TVs, lots of games, probably some cornhole. Yeah, you got just a lot of activity.
So basically, your tailgate is what we do in the Mo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that makes a lot of sense.
On a different scale. Yeah. Loud music. Yeah.
Okay, so see, I've always wondered, because those of us that are working the events, right? Like sometimes I'm certainly guilty of this, and this is where actually this idea came from. That I don't know what it's like.
Yeah,
there,
you have to get out there because some of it's quite elaborate. There's a lot of tradition in it, so people are as passionate about their parking spaces as they are about their seats.
I know.
I can assure you of that.
Yeah.
And so it's fun and it's interesting. Different sections of the lots do different things. There's wine and cheese and there's brats and burgers, and there's all kind of stuff. I've seen. We've got some folks that have bought old school buses and gutted them and turned them in, and special grills, and it's. I think that's what makes college football so great.
Me too.
Is to just get out there.
Yeah, it's the tradition of it, and it we talk about like it's a community event. It's a family event a lot of times.
It really is when you get out there, and the energy, especially when the weather cooperates. Yeah. It's what makes Saturdays in the fall so great.
Yeah. Well, so here's my live pitch. If you and I can ever just not do what we're usually doing on a football Saturday, I think we could do like an undercover boss or something like this. So stay tuned. Maybe I'll talk our way into it. If I keep talking about it enough,
maybe you could just jump in the duck suit and go at it.
Yeah. See, now that's true undercover.
Yeah,
right? That's true undercover. Yeah. Which brings me, okay, I'm tangenting again. I'm sorry. I swear we're going to get to baseball, softball, everything else coming up. We did a hard-hitting investigative report on Duck Insider. So this, I'm actually very curious to see if I was in the minority here of not knowing the answer to this. Someone asked me how old the Duck is.
Oh, wow.
Because the Duck's birthday party was last Friday, right? And so I didn't know the answer off the top of my head, and full disclosure, it was Eric Rodell that asked me this.
Okay.
And I didn't know the answer off the top of my head, so I did some deep dive digging.
Did Eric know?
Eric did not know.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, Eric. But I did some.
That's going to be. I mean, Eric is great. That would have been impressive.
Yeah. So I did some deep dive digging. Now I have to say, like, I checked this with a lot of people around the athletic department. The fans that have listened to the show that are regulars, they know where I'm going with this. So there are multiple iterations of the Duck in the history of the Duck.
Right.
And I feel compelled now to confirm with you that I'm right. And then we can say definitively that this is the case. So in 1947, that's when Leo Harris made the handshake agreement with Walt Disney.
Right.
So I say that's the birth of the current iteration of the Duck as it's evolved since then, which would make him 76 years old.
Okay.
Are we good with that?
Who am I to argue with that?
Okay.
I know that Robo-Duck didn't make it to 1.
That's right. He did not. No. The cousin did not make it.
I hear about that frequently.
Isn't that amazing that like I still hear about it every year?
Yeah, it's. I mean, obviously, when you get a chance to talk to Tinker and Todd, Tinker Hatfield and Todd Van Horn about all the innovations and how they've changed the whole landscape of uniforms and brands through Oregon, it's amazing. And they always talk about that one was one that just didn't quite make it.
Yeah, I mean, hey. You got to fail to succeed, right?
Absolutely, and at Oregon, we were willing to push the envelope.
Yeah, no kidding.
That may have been a little too far.
That's all right, Well, or it was too far for the time. I mean,
maybe.
Who knows?
Maybe right. Robo-Duck will make a comeback.
I don't even have anything else to say. So softball season. Now we know regionals are upcoming. Ducks traveling today. Would have liked to host for sure, but still I think a very winnable regional for the Ducks in Arkansas.
Yeah, obviously the huge advantage when you get a chance to host, and we put ourselves in position to be in that conversation. Obviously with the big win streak there towards the end of the year. But, we play in a great league. We've played outstanding competition. Missy's schedule's up. Obviously, our RPI was very strong, played a lot of incredible non-conference and then in the conference. Go get it done. And if things fall your way and, we put in a bid to host a Super. So if we can get one upset out of Stillwater, and we can take care of business in Fayetteville, maybe there is a chance to come back home and play again.
Yeah, in all seriousness, that's part of why I was saying it could be the final home event, which is the way the postseason schedule works out. But so that process, I'm always fascinated by this, Rob. I think fans are interested to know that. Like, y'all do plan for the potential for that.
No, absolutely. I mean, there's deadlines, and when you're in the mix, you submit a bid to host in a lot of sports. Particularly what we're talking about today is baseball and softball, and you submit both for the regional and super regional because upsets can happen, and they're not predetermined sites. So, if Wichita could somehow upset Oklahoma State and we take care of business in Fayetteville, then that super regional could be right here in Eugene.
Then pack the Jane.
There we go.
I wanted to ask you, we talked about this a bit last year with the inaugural Pac-12 baseball tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Now we've seen the inaugural Pac-12 softball tournament. Just your thoughts for the conference.
Yeah, obviously we want to provide an exceptional student-athlete experience. And so that, the coaches, we've had this conversation for years. And the coaches felt that was something that was missing. Prior to having these conference tournaments, you'd have an extra series on the weekend,
right.
Which had been used different ways. So, I have a little bit of mixed feelings, with the strength of this league, having another series at home, is a positive, particularly in baseball because of the arms.
Right.
But I get, you get in a tournament atmosphere. We do have such strong RPIs. It is a chance for another team to play their way in if they win the tournament. So, I can see both sides of the argument.
I'm a fan of it for all the reasons you said, and then I would add that postseason just makes for great TV, right?
It
like
does,
that's the phrase,
and we saw that in softball
Yeah.
in the tournament, and we'll see that in baseball. It's probably a thing where if you know that you're a host
Right.
by your body of work before you get to the tournament, you're probably not real interested in it.
Right.
But if you're on the bubble of hosting or on the bubble of getting into the tournament, it's probably advantageous for you.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I don't know what's going on Cardinal Insider today, but I'd imagine the already Pac-12 champions, they're not worried about it right now.
No, and they're, probably making sure they stay sharp and getting their arms rested and ready for the regional.
Makes sense. Now, speaking of baseball, hitting the road tomorrow, I am and the team is Salt Lake City. I will say that it is one of the most beautiful views from any press box I've ever seen. Mount Olympus is in dead center field at Smith's Ballpark. It's really something. Also a huge ballpark. I asked Colby Shade today if as a center fielder he just chomps at the bit to be in a big ballpark like that. His answer won't surprise you. He was like, "Yeah, that's gonna be fun in Utah."
Well, and they probably like that the balls carry a little bit
That's
too.
right. That's right. That's really true. But this is a huge weekend for Duck baseball.
Big weekend. Obviously, still, the seedings, the hostings are all still out there. And when you look at the depth of the Pac-12 baseball standings, there is a huge group of teams clumped right after Stanford there.
Yeah, it's possible mathematically for Oregon to finish anywhere from 3rd through 7th in the standings entering play this weekend. So in any case, we're going to get a quick timeout. When we come back, got to talk about a Pac-12 championship.
Absolutely.
Track and field, also some updates on men's golf. They are in the clubhouse, as they say, in round 2 of the regional. It was a good day, and a whole lot of other things to cover with Rob Mullens. We're back after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey Duck fans, we're all about protecting our home turf here in Eugene. You should do the same for your home with Country Financial Insurance. Most home insurance doesn't account for inflation, but with Country Financial, yours can. If something happens to your home, make sure you can rebuild the same house in the same place. Call a local representative or 866-COUNTRY and get a solid defense for your home. Home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Casualty Insurance Company, or Country Preferred Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois. Property must meet age and condition requirements, which vary by state.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, OnPoint proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. OnPoint Community Credit Union, onpointcu.com. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Opportunity.
Your daily dose of Oregon athletics. This is Duck Insider from Learfield.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
To your children's eyes to see the true magic of a forest. It's a storybook world for them. You look and see a tree. They see the wrinkled face of a wizard with arms outstretched to the sky. They see treasure in pebbles. They see a windy path that could lead to adventure. And they see you, their fearless guide through this fascinating world.
Find a forest near you and start exploring at discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the United States Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Back on Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Joey Mack in the Country Financial Studio. Rob Mullens here with us. The second to last time this athletic season. And I know I see the message board, social media is just going crazy. RoboDuck is apparently coming back. Who's to know? I mean, it's amazing. Have you thought before about the things that, like, how powerful the things that you say are?
No, I haven't. And, yeah. And some of it's not premeditated.
This is going to be watch. This will be like the most watched segment that you and I have done in years, just for that one little joke. In any case, Pac-12 champions again.
Yes,
in track and field for the Oregon women. Pretty spectacular.
Spectacular to go down to Mount Sac. Obviously, knew it was going to be a close competition. And I think we had 7 event champions, which is really cool. So. Great springboard into the NCAA regionals.
Isn't it amazing too that a Pac-12 championship, and then with how successful that sport's been, it's all right, NCAAs.
No, I think that's a great point, and we never want to lose sight of how hard it is to win a Pac-12 championship in any sport, and make sure that we celebrate that. So that's an important point to make. For here, track national championships is the bar. Right. But you never want to lose sight of conference championships.
And the truth is, like, I'm sure that the entire staff and team are feeling that way, right? It's on to the next one,
Yeah, I mean, obviously when you have, elite championship coaches and elite athletes, they do celebrate for 1 minute and then they start thinking about next. And obviously there's been a lot of debate in the sport of track and field about how the postseason is set up. You can have the best time in your event, but you still have to go to a regional and perform.
Right.
You don't get to have a bad day.
Right.
So it is, some believe that's a bad formula because you have to peak 3 times. You have to peak for your conference championship, peak for the regionals, and then peak for the NCAA championships, which in some events is really difficult.
Well, it's amazing. It's such an argument for body of work versus peaking at the right time.
Right.
Every sport's going to have that argument to some extent, I suppose. But
no, they probably are. In track, though, just think if you're a sprinter and you have one bad day with a false start or anything, you're not feeling great that day.
Yeah.
You miss out on a chance to be a national champion or an All-American.
It's true. It's true. Postseason continues. We were talking at the beginning of the show about how it's odd to not be at Hayward Field. I'll just say that again. It's odd to not have it at Hayward Field. But postseason does continue for track and field, and that's going to be exciting.
It will be exciting. Yeah, no, it will be exciting. And get out your form charts for all you super track fans. I'm always amazed. That's one of the things that's so cool when the event's here, because you have a lot of prelims on whatever it is, Wednesday and Thursday, and the average fan may not really be paying that close of attention. But when you're walking around Hayward, people are got the form charts out doing the math, saying, "Uh-oh, so-and-so team's in trouble, such and such in good shape." It all lines up for the finals days.
Yeah, it's really something. I've seen some of the charts and like just the detail of it. It really is like a puzzle, that you're putting together in real time.
Yeah, I mean, I know I can, I'll go see Jim Jakewell. He'll break it down for me on Wednesday, Thursday. Obviously, Mr. Knight has his form chart fully prepared, so I go to the experts.
Yeah, me too. Makes sense. A few more thoughts for Rob Mullens. We got a few more things to cover. Men's golf right now. I'll do a more detailed update later on the show, but they are currently in 3rd and through in the Bath Regional today. So one more round, and then men's golf, if they finish in the top 5, they'll advance to the NCAAs. Looking good for Casey Martin's
team. I think they shot tied for the low round today.
They did, tied for the low round with Georgia.
Which is phenomenal. So put themselves in great position. Go out and perform one more day, and you get a chance to go play in the championship, which is, I believe, at Greyhawk in Phoenix. Right. So will be awesome. I mean, obviously, to put yourself to be in that final on that final day in the regional and then get a chance to advance to the championship.
Coach Martin's teams just always seem to perform this time of year. I don't know how he does it.
Yeah, we had a text exchange after the Pac-12 championship, and I said the exact same thing. He just knows how to prepare a team for championship golf.
Yeah,
He's one of the best in the business at it, and he's done it here for a long time.
It's so cool to watch. Meanwhile, some other things coming up around Oregon athletics. Tonight is a really special night, the Scholarship Endowment Dinner, something that is now making a return, and I don't think a lot of fans realize what it is. I was hoping to give you a chance to talk about it.
Yeah, no, it's one of our student athletes and donors, endowment scholarship donors' favorite events of the year. So it's a dinner that we host annually with the donors who endow a scholarship, and they get to have dinner with the student athlete who is the recipient of that scholarship. So just a wonderful night to say thank you to the donors from the department and from our student athletes, and for the donors to see the impact that their generosity is having on the student athletes.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite events. So it's tonight, and that's why I wanted to make sure that we brought it up, because it is so important. It's kind of, you talked about, like, Rob, the impact. It's not just what people see on the field, too.
Right.
And this is a great reminder of
This
that.
is a great reminder of that. And, these endowments are set up to support student athletes in perpetuity.
Right.
And so, it's just another chance to say thank you. And for those who've given so generously, to see the impact that it's having, because we have a number of first-generation college students amongst our student athlete population, and we all see what they do in their sport, but it's a chance to sit and talk and see what they're doing academically, socially, and what they're planning to do in the next phase of their life. And our donors always walk away so impressed.
Similarly, we're going to talk about this more on your last appearance in June. I have it on my list, but graduation is coming up.
Yeah.
And this is a pretty special group, a unique group, because of, in some cases, an extended career for a lot of them.
Yeah, obviously, they had a unique experience, which was, had a lot of anxious moments with COVID and, all the changes that were happening so fast. But, man, did they power through. And we appreciate all that they've done, and they did get an extended career, and all of them have taken advantage of that. So it is a special group,
and it's also can never take for granted getting the degree.
No doubt. I mean, that's why they're here, right? Yeah. Is to prepare themselves for the next phase, and a degree goes a long way to doing that. So it is something that we love to celebrate with the student athletes and their families.
University-wide on Thursday, it's Ducks Give Day. It's traditionally been known as Day of Giving. It's sort of an annual tradition now amongst a lot of bigger universities that the University of Oregon has really bought into, and athletics has really bought into. So if you didn't catch the show yesterday, there's 6 different things that if you make a contribution on Thursday, you'll be entered to win a few things. One of them's coffee and breakfast with this guy. So, you got that to look forward to on Thursday. But that is a huge day for philanthropy.
No, it is a great day. It's a great day to celebrate the entire University of Oregon as a community all around the world. We bring a focus, on the priorities and, again, back to scholarships and so many great things that are happening here. It's a day to celebrate that.
It's also, I think, a day, at least for me, Rob, like one of the things that I'm reminded of is how much work goes in from the Duck Athletic Fund and others behind the scenes, too.
Yeah, no, we have an outstanding team that work 365 days a year. And it is a chance to highlight all that great work. Everything that we see here in our athletic department, what the work that the DAF and all of our donors and ticket holders and merchandise purchasers do, that's what fuels this. Yeah. And so it is a chance to highlight that and say thank you.
And more details, goducks.com/ducksgive. Essentially, what happens when you contribute on Thursday, you're going to be entered into various raffles for giveaways, and that's the way to make it kind of fun. And so the theme for the athletic department is a day with the Ducks, and basically you'll have something going on all throughout the day that'll keep you connected to Oregon athletics. One of them, for example, is we had 4 different student athletes from different sports all have breakfast together, and we basically just listened to their entire conversation. The first question that Tanner Smith of the Duck baseball team got asked will make you laugh. I encourage you to check that out coming up. Well, one thing that I wanted to ask you, Rob, sort of the nitty-gritty of the way that things are operating. Since Lisa Peterson's advancement to the Pac-12, Val Johnson has come in, and as a result, there's been some shift up in the sport administrators. I haven't had you on since some of those shifts have happened, but we've had some of the other senior staff members on to talk about it. I just wanted to give you a chance to talk about it.
Yeah, no, obviously, anytime, there's a change in staff, we always say, hey, what could we be doing better to meet the need of the student athlete, of the staff? And so when Lisa took the opportunity to go to the Pac-12, we lifted up the hood and said, hey, are there some people who've earned some opportunities for career growth? Are there ways to better serve coaches and student athletes? And so we did reallocate some of the sports supervision responsibility to make sure that we're giving the coaches and student athletes the attention that they need and deserve. And so through that, we added, Katie Harbert to the mix, Aaron Pooh Wasson to the mix, and then reallocated some other sports.
Yeah, so that's why you've heard, for example, last time that Aaron Wasson was on, we didn't talk just equipment, we talked softball.
Right.
So to give fans just the inside of what happened. A couple fans asked me, like, so how did that happen? What happened? So I thought that was important.
Right. No, that's right. And like I said, anytime we have a staffing change or, our business is always evolving.
Yeah. You don't say.
No, exactly. And we want to make sure that we're that our structure is set up to support the new landscape.
Lastly, what did I ask you too? Search underway for the next leader of the lacrosse program.
Yeah, no, obviously, anytime there's a change, that's a difficult decision. And there's a lot that goes into success, and we're all a part of that. But yes, we are out in there looking on a national search for a head women's lacrosse coach, and taking a lot of inbound calls, as you might expect. And confident that we'll find the next great leader.
Well, updates to come as we have them. Anything else that we missed? What else you want to highlight?
No, I appreciate all the support of everybody, whether it's spring game or we had great crowds at baseball, at the Jane, and so it's been a great spring. Hopefully, we can find a way to get another home game or two and fill them up.
Yeah, I like that mentality. Thank you, Rob. Appreciate you being
Stay hydrated in Phoenix.
Yeah, gonna need it. And in Salt Lake. It's supposed to be really nice in Salt Lake
Oh,
City.
good.
Yeah,
good. At the Pac-12 baseball tournament last year, it was a scorcher.
Yes, it's toasty. And depending on and the way that it works this year, the games are all either at 10, 2:30, or 7. Take your pick.
Yeah, 10.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. So we'll see what seed that ends up meaning for the Ducks. But in any case, a huge weekend for Duck baseball in Salt Lake City, and then we'll see you at the Pac-12 tournament. Thank you again. Appreciate
thank you.
Time.
Appreciate it.
We'll get a timeout. When we return, Coach Lombardi, Oregon softball head coach, breaking it all down as they head to Arkansas on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Summer's here, and with a new Toyota, you can go out and make memories that make summer, summer. Like catching a road game in a RAV4. I got it.
Toyota, let's go places. Participating dealers only. Event ends May 31st. Dealer inventory may vary.
At Shadow Hills Country Club, we're more than just an award-winning golf course and practice facility. Our events team offers all-inclusive event pricing that allows us to take care of all the details while you enjoy your event. Our indoor and outdoor venues offer you a wide variety of fully staffed options that put the focus on you. From weddings to business and social events, at Shadow Hills Country Club Events Center, you get the benefits of a resort atmosphere and amenities in a peaceful country setting, just minutes from downtown Eugene. Call for a tour today or visit shadowhillsevents.com.
Summer's here, and with a new Toyota, you can go out and make memories that make summer, summer. Like catching a road game in a RAV4. I got it.
Toyota, let's go places. Participating dealers only. Event ends May 31st. Dealer inventory may vary.
You're listening to Duck Insider. Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
Jelly. Jelly adjective. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt US Kids, and the Ad Council.
This is an important message from the Mine Safety and Health Administration. Mining fatalities, accidents, and injuries are preventable. Taking a minute to approach your task safely can protect you and your fellow miners from injury and death. Staying alert and focused can keep you safe. Do it safe. Do it right. Whether buckling a seatbelt or securing equipment, these quick safety measures can prevent injuries and fatalities. Take time. Save lives. For more resources, visit MSHA.gov.
Postseason play is here, here as we welcome you back to Duck Insider. Coach Lombardi is here. All right, Coach, happy Tuesday. It's one of my favorite times. We're recording this a little bit early in the morning because the Ducks are going to be traveling. What is the schedule first? Like, what's happening around the softball program before traveling?
Well, we just got done with practice this morning. We
Nice.
started at 7. So
Nice.
we just got done with practice. They're all running off to school, finishing some midterm exams. And then we are leaving this afternoon to head to Arkansas.
All right. But so as a result of that, you get a couple days to get acclimated to the time zone, practice. What's the schedule ahead?
Yeah, no, I mean, like right now, travel day, everybody's just trying to get on the plane. To me, if you get on the plane, once you get on the plane, you've made it.
Yeah, nice.
Just getting on the plane. So once we get on the plane, we have all made it. And then what's nice is that they get to sleep in tomorrow and adjust to the time.
Right.
Have a really good practice, get a lift in, just not feel rushed in these next 2 days before Friday.
Yeah, there is an acclimation period, right? I mean, at this point, you're used to traveling, but having that extra day, how beneficial is that just for like acclimation to the business trip, for lack of a better phrase?
I think it goes a long way for us because it's just getting adjusted to the time, getting adjusted to the weather.
Right.
There's just some different things to get adjusted to, and so to have that extra day, I think goes a long way.
Second year in a row that the Ducks are heading to Arkansas. So let's talk a little bit about that. It's never going to get old to see that name called. You said that. We played it on the show yesterday. What were the emotions like for the team?
They were crazy. They were so excited. I talked to them about just watching them have pure joy when hearing their name called. So if that ever gets old, I don't quite understand that. Like, whether your name's been called one time or 100 times, like hearing your name being called is pretty awesome.
Yeah, and I mean, for some of these student athletes, it's the first time, right, that they've heard that name get called. I mean, that's a really big deal. Coach Lombardi joining us before traveling to Arkansas. The schedule ahead: Arkansas, the number 11 seed, along with Oregon, Notre Dame, and Harvard in the Fayetteville Regional. The Ducks will face Notre Dame at 2 o'clock Pacific time on ESPN2. Our guys from KWVA are expected to travel, but I have to tell you, Ryan is under the weather right now, so he's trying to rally. If you have any secret sauce for rallying for postseason, Ryan needs it.
Okay.
So send the good vibes. But hopefully the games will also be on KWVA and you get the hometown call. Notre Dame, what do you know about the Fighting Irish at this point?
That they're good. They're in postseason. Everybody in postseason is good. I've known that coaching staff for a long time, and they do things the right way. They know how to pitch. They know how to hit. They know how to play good defense. They've been going to postseason for a long time. So.
It's a familiar trip, as we talked about, the second year in a row going to Arkansas. What pros, cons? I don't know to that.
I think a lot of pros. Our athletes, that's what they say. They're like, wow, we're familiar. We know how their field plays. We just played against them last year. We know how the trip looks. To me, when you can give them something that is familiar and they understand how to gauge, different things, I think it allows them to maybe not get, sometimes like you're trying to travel and you're trying to get school done and you have a lot of emotion. They just understand what they're getting into. We're staying at the same hotel. It's just everything is just familiar and it feels good.
You know where the team meeting room is for breakfast.
Yeah.
Little things like that.
Yeah, it goes. You wouldn't think little things like that would go a long way, but they do.
No, it's amazing. I mean, I have now been to every venue in football, basketball, baseball. I'm too short in softball. I got to check a few more off the list. But even just like for the broadcaster, knowing what the setup is, there is a level of comfortability to it. I totally understand that. I want to go back for you a little bit and ask you kind of a big picture question. You've talked a lot this year about that postseason mentality. Throughout the course of the year, we've talked about it. So I wanted to take the moment to say, okay, when you talk about postseason mentality, now that we're in postseason, what are you talking about throughout the course of the year, and how is that theme kind of carried through the entire season?
Yeah, it's sometimes you think, like when you get to postseason, all you care about is winning. That's all everybody on the team cares about is winning. And sometimes prior to postseason, you get a little more caught up in yourself. Like in postseason, you get a little bloop hit and scores a run. You're like, I don't care. Yes, we scored. Early on the year, maybe you get a little aggravated because you had a bloop hit.
Right.
So I just think your perspective changes in postseason. So we don't want our perspective to change. We want our perspective to be the same at the beginning of the year into the end. And that's something that these guys have worked really, really hard on. They know the winning formula. They know what it takes for them as a team to win. They know it. So if you know it, can you execute it? Can you have an unwavering belief for you, your team, your coaching staff in every game that you go in?
Gosh, that is so true. Like, will you see just a crazy play that ends a game in the postseason, everyone's just like, oh, victory, but then in the regular season you think so much about like, well, this didn't happen in this game, and that's so true.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's about being in that mindset from day one, and that's what this group has worked really hard with, is being in that mindset. And we've had some games where we've walked it off and got some big wins. We've had some games where we've had some tough losses, but to me it's all about the journey. And as coaches, even as players, we go into a season going, this is what it should look like. Right. And it never does.
Yeah.
It never does, so you can't get too high. You can't get too low. You got to trust your journey and trust that when things don't go your way, it is preparing you for what is next. And that's what I think about with the season.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing to look back, too, and like, if we went back and played you and I's first conversation of the season, like, without fail, there'd be a few things that were like keys to success that adapted throughout the course of the season, right? I mean, like, summarize if you could, like, heading into this, just like what the team is excited about. Like, it's postseason, we know that. What does that mean to this group?
They've just had a goal all year, and it's about going further than they've ever gone. And I like that. And they're not done yet. They have a lot to do, and I think they get an opportunity too. Last year we didn't finish the way we wanted to in Arkansas, and you get an opportunity to go back and make that right.
Yeah. Melyssa Lombardi joining us, Oregon softball head coach. Ducks are traveling out to Arkansas, Oregon, Notre Dame, 2 o'clock Friday, ESPN 2 for the telecast. In the overall season, when you have a bunch of all Pac-12 names pop up, it's usually a good thing. I want to start with the defensive team. The most of any Pac-12 team, 3 Ducks recognized on the all-defensive team, and Allie Bunker, Tara McGowan, and Paige Sinicki. Defense has been a huge key for you all season long. Cool to see that recognition, I'd imagine.
Very, very cool. Defense wins championships. It does. And to see what our defense has done, the amount of double play balls that they've turned, just watching our defense get us out of a big inning. I don't know what I like better, like a big inning on offense or a big inning on defense. It's just awesome seeing Reggie roll up a double play ball and they leave runners stranded. And then actually to come to offense and the momentum take us into our offense.
Gosh, how many times, too, do you see that in diamond sports, right? Like, someone turns a double play, that one of the double play turners leads off the next inning with a double.
Yeah.
Like that. How often do you kind of feel that as a coach, like throughout a game, those momentum moments? Like, how do you try to capture that?
Yeah, no, we captured a lot. We work really, really hard on that, so it's us coming up offensively and scoring. Okay, now let's have a shutdown inning. I mean, they're running off onto the field saying, shutdown inning, get the lead off. Like, they're really particular coming off the field, going into defense or going into offense and just knowing what they want. Like I said, they know what it takes and what is needed for this team to win. It's about the execution of it.
All conference recognition as well for Allie Bunker and Tara McGowan. As soon as I say the names, Coach Lombardi is smiling.
Yep.
I mean, this is kind of the best tournament maybe ever for them because it's going to be the last one. We know that, and that's bittersweet, but it gives something else to play for, I'd imagine.
Yeah, these guys, again, I just think they have unfinished business. We've had a goal all year long, and now we're at that point in the season. It's crazy how fast, like, we're already here. But they're excited. It's not us trying to figure out what we need to do. It's continuing to do what we've done all year.
A couple individuals that I wanted to ask you that have lately performed well, and Taya Bird and Alyssa Daniel.
Taya has been great. Like, she's really, really elevated with her defensive play. But then also, too, offensively, she's been doing a really nice job of helping us turn the lineup over, which is big. I think when you're 8-9, it's understanding, do you have the ability to turn the lineup over? And she's had some really big at-bats for us. We have runners in scoring position. She comes up clutch for us. So I really like what she's doing on both sides.
Pitching. Postseason. Defense wins championship. Pitching sure helps. What do you make of the pitching staff heading into this thing?
To continue to do what they're doing, and that is to be a staff and work together. That's it. And we just need you to give us an opportunity to win. I think of pitchers and defense give us an opportunity for the offense to be able to clutch up. So
I feel like so many times throughout the course of this season, you've truly seen like the baton pass with your pitching staff. How have you gone about over the course of an entire season fostering that mentality? Because I'd imagine like it's hard for a pitcher. You don't want to give the ball up, right? But sometimes you need to.
No, they don't. They don't. Their heart is they want to stay out there and tell me that they can get it done. But I think the trust that they have in each other and knowing, in softball, I can be a starter, I could be a middle reliever, and I could be a closer.
Right.
And all three of them know how to do all three. So there's a ton of trust when the one is coming off and the other's coming on. They say, I got you.
I'm so excited for this. Postseason is here, 2 o'clock on Friday. Well, thanks for taking the time to chat. I know it's busy, so we sure appreciate it. Keys to success. Sum it up for us. What do you want to see this weekend?
For them to continue to play with joy and to play for us.
I love that. I have nothing else to say. Coach Lombardi, thanks for being here. Anything else fans should know before we say so long, and then we're going to talk to you next week heading into Super Regionals?
Just keep cheering for the Ducks. We'll be on ESPN, our first game, and just keep cheering for the Ducks.
Safe travels.
Okay, thank you.
I appreciate it. Thanks for taking the time. When we come back, a little bit from Tara McGowan, going to talk both Diamond sports next on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, OnPoint proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. OnPoint Community Credit Union, onpointcu.com. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Opportunity.
Hey Duck fans, we're all about protecting our home turf here in Eugene. You should do the same for your home with Country Financial Insurance. Most home insurance doesn't account for inflation, but with Country Financial, yours can. If something happens to your home, make sure you can rebuild the same house in the same place. Call a local representative or 866-COUNTRY and get a solid defense for your home. Home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Casualty Insurance Company, or Country Preferred Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois. Property must meet age and condition requirements, which vary by state.
This is Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Farming is dangerous. There's dangers all around us.
We go through safety training and try and do these things to make sure accidents don't happen.
You don't want to hit a gas pipe because that's your life. The other part of it is if you hit certain things, you're liable for it.
Farm Safe 811 starts with you. Always call 811 and wait for any underground lines to be marked.
Always keep safety in the back of your mind. Just stay humble.
For more information, go to farmsafe811.org.
Question: what will you find on all over-the-counter or OTC medicine packages to help you choose the right drug and use it safely? The answer: the drug facts label. This label lists the medicine's active ingredients and purpose, how much to take, and warnings you should know before using it. Remember, even OTC medicines you buy without a prescription can cause side effects you don't want. So follow the information listed on the drug facts label. For more information, visit fda.gov/drug facts label. A message from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration.
Back on Nugget Cider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Joey Mack here in the Country Financial Studio. My thanks again to Coach Lombardi for joining us earlier today. They're actually traveling this afternoon, and yesterday we didn't get a chance to hear from one of those veterans after the selection announcement. Ducks know they're going to Arkansas. Tara McGowan, one who has that experience. The Ducks have so much experience. We were just talking about that with Coach Lombardi heading into this Fayetteville Regional. Tara McGowan talking about that and the reaction to the selection on Sunday.
Tara, once again, going to a venue that you're familiar with. What are your thoughts and what are your expectations hitting that first game with Notre Dame?
Yeah, I think it's awesome that we get to play at a field that we've already played at. I think we're very comfortable in that environment. All three teams that we could play, we respect them, they respect us. It's just nice to be able to go into somewhere that you played before. We know how the field plays, we know how the fans act, so feeling really good about it.
Now that Danielle is no longer on Arkansas's team, are you going to talk to her, try to get some trade secrets? Or is that going to be part of your game plan?
I think Danielle has her own stuff going on at Georgia, so I know she's rooting for me deep down, hopefully. So I think I'll just leave her out of it.
Tara, what was the difference for you in the two regionals you've been in terms of from the Friday night and the experience of losing in Austin 2 years ago and being up against it from the jump versus getting that win, being in the winner's bracket? All right, yes, having an elimination game later that night, but just the psychological difference of that first game and being on the winner's bracket from the jump. What's the difference?
I think the biggest difference for us, honestly, was just that we were a young team in that regional. Not any of us had been to postseason in the first one. And coming, now into year 3, we've been talking about postseason mentality all year. Getting the first game is obviously important, but as Allie said, as long as you have outs, there's game left to play and there's always a chance. So we'd love to get the first game, but I don't think our mentality shifts either way.
Yeah, I thought that was a really good response. Especially we were just talking with Coach Lombardi earlier about how the postseason mentality has impacted Oregon softball. Like, you get a bloop base hit, you win the game, you're thrilled about it in the postseason. You get a bloop base hit, you win a game. Sometimes in the regular season, you're like, well, we could have done better. Win the game, right? That's got to be still the most important thing. And I think that if you're the Ducks heading to Fayetteville now, that mentality is going to pay off here moving forward. Some really good news from Grace Van Slooten. After 3 days of trials at the U.S. Olympic and Paralympic Training Center, Oregon forward Grace Van Slooten was one of 12 athletes named to the 2023 USA Women's U19 national team that will compete at the 2023 FIBA U19 Women's World Cup later this summer. Van Slooten and the team will reconvene in Colorado Springs for training camp on July 2nd in preparation for the Women's World Cup. The 2023 FIBA U19 Women's World Cup is scheduled to be played in Madrid, Spain, from July 15th through 23rd as Team USA seeks its 3rd straight gold medal at the event. Congratulations to Grace Van Slooten. That's awesome. Chance to compete for Team USA. The roster features 4 players from the Pac-12. In addition to Van Slooten, the Ducks, I should say 4 players from the Pac-12 in addition to Van Slooten, and that's awesome. You talk about the international experience that you get. Like, you hear so many coaches say that the international experience just goes a long way in value for teams. I'm really looking forward to seeing her compete at that level. And, I'll tell you, as an all-Pac-12 freshman team member, an all-Pac-12 honorable mention member, I think if she was healthy all season long, probably an all-conference, not just all-freshman, probably an all-conference honoree as well. She made 30 starts, finished second on the team in scoring, just over 13 a game. Yeah, that's cool for Grace Van Slooten. Congratulations to Grace Van Slooten. When we come back, some updates on men's golf, baseball needing to respond, and also having a little bit of fun with the Ulmer and Dillard scoreboard next on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
At Shadow Hills Country Club, we're more than just an award-winning golf course and practice facility. Our events team offers all-inclusive event pricing that allows us to take care of all the details while you enjoy your event. Our indoor and outdoor venues offer you a wide variety of fully staffed options that put the focus on you. From weddings to business and social events, at Shadow Hills Country Club Events Center, you get the benefits of a resort atmosphere and amenities in a peaceful country setting, just minutes from downtown Eugene. Call for a tour today or visit shadowhillsevents.com.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, OnPoint proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. OnPoint Community Credit Union, onpointcu.com. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Opportunity.
More Duck Insider coming up on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed. Oh, yeah? Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too. Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
To your children's eyes to see the true magic of a forest. It's a storybook world for them. You look and see a tree. They see the wrinkled face of a wizard with arms outstretched to the sky. They see treasure in pebbles. They see a windy path that could lead to adventure. And they see you, their fearless guide through this fascinating world.
Find a forest near you and start exploring at discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the United States Forest Service and the Ad Council.
We're back on Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Joey Mack in the Country Financial Studio. So after the weekend, all the questions for Oregon baseball were about the health of the pitching staff. Jay Stoffel. Well, here's the update. Jay Stoffel, Austin Anderson, even Isaac Aon referenced as well. Matt Dallas also got banged up over the weekend. Those questions were all asked to Mark Wasikowski today. The update is the Ducks are waiting and seeing. We'll know more on Thursday when I talk to Waz for the Toyota Coaches Corner. So hopefully good news. It sounds like all those guys are coming on the trip to Utah, but we'll see what happens here moving forward. More updates to come. So it was Mother's Day over the weekend, and on yesterday's show, we didn't get a chance to play it, but many of you probably saw it on the Go Ducks Facebook. We call her Chid, Erica Dillard, assistant coach for Oregon Volleyball. This was just awesome. It's going to warm your heart seeing and hearing from the Dillard family.
Hi, Bubby. What is Mommy's job? What do I do for my work?
Play volleyball.
Yeah. Can you say, go Ducks? Bryson, that's your best party trick. When Mommy's not coaching volleyball, what do I like to do?
Color with me?
Color with you, yeah. That's one of my favorite things to do. What are some of your favorite things to color?
Pokemon.
Pokemon. Reagan, what's Mommy's favorite food?
Mediterranean.
Mediterranean. Do you like Mediterranean? Nope.
No. What is your favorite part about being a mom?
My favorite part about being a mom is that I get to watch my kids grow up and be smart and brave and kind, and especially with you, I get to watch you grow up around a lot of really great role models on the volleyball team.
So awesome. Like, there are so many great role models on the Oregon volleyball team. And Coach Dillard, so Jason Dillard is the beach volleyball head coach. Erica Dillard has been the assistant coach with Matt Ulmer here as long as Coach Ulmer's been the head coach at Oregon. They have a great family atmosphere around Oregon volleyball. We've talked about it on the show before, but I just loved that video, just a little bit of an insight into what it's like being a coach, being a mom. And as a result, we've got an update to the scoreboard. Ulmer 8, Dillard 7, entering play today. Update that Dillard to 8. Dillard's getting updated to 8 just for that video from the weekend on Mother's Day. Whoever has the best handwriting, Olivia, Gabe, Scott's here today too. Whoever's got the best handwriting, update that to 8 because they deserve it. Shout out to the Dillards. I love that video. It was awesome. Men's golf in the regionals. The Ducks are in third place after round 2. Round 3 tomorrow. And Alex Stimpson will be with you to host the show tomorrow. He's coming out of retirement. Also, we talked with Rob Mosley. It was something. We already did. See you tomorrow.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
Jelly. Jelly adjective. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.